So I've got my Photoshop image pulled up where I've marked the different levels with dots on top of them. So that'll help me guide me through as I'm cutting the map. So anywhere where there's a zero, not a zero, a white dot will be level 0 for the map. All right, so let's do that. Okay, so here we have our printed map that we got from Office Depot. And I put down some plastic so I didn't damage the table. And this is what I'm using on. I'm using Krylon UV resistant clear or acrylic coating. So I was using Valspar, and it was enamel and it tended to stain the map. So I really like this one. And maybe because it's acrylic, water soluble, I think it's also a lot less toxic, although I could be wrong about that. I like acrylics better than enamels. So then we're gonna do 4 coats. We're going to do 4 coats on the front, 4 coats on the back. And the reason we're spraying it is not just to protect it, because we're going to eventually have Mod Podge on top of it, which will protect it. But it's I find that if I spray it first, it won't bubble up when I do the Mod Podge, which is a huge problem when you're doing large surfaces. So anyway, that's it. So we're going to spray it. Okay, that's 1 coat. Probably in about 10 minutes it'll be dry. Okay, so we have all of our level 0s cut out now. So we just have to place them properly, trace them down, and then we'll get to gluing them down. So this, for example, is level 1, 2, and 3. This will be level 0. We'll try to get that straight, and of course we use this for reference where I put the different colored dots. So here are our 4 pieces that are cut out for our level 0. So we got one in the corner down here, another one here, then the big one following the river over here, and then this tiny one following this little river over here. So next we're going to Mod Podge that all down. Okay, so we're using Mod Podge matte. You can use gloss if you like. So we just put some down here, and they say to put it on the surface and on the paper, but sometimes the paper's too thin. This is really thick paper. So you see where I drew out the lines of where this is all going. Make sure you get enough down there. I can put some on the paper too. It's pretty thick paper, probably 100, 120 weight. I'm going to put it down, and it shouldn't bubble too much because we put those 8 coats, 4 on each side of the Krylon Ultra Clear acrylic. Put it down. Now we're supposed to put this Mod Podge back on top of it, but I'm gonna wait till it dries, otherwise it tends to bubble up. So I'm gonna press it down, make sure it sticks, get the corners a little bit. A lot of people do this with a brush. I like the results better with a roller, more even. And you can see it doesn't seem to be bubbling at all, which is good. Sometimes it'll ruin it. There's just so much bubbles. And that's it. Now we're gonna do it for the other 3 pieces, and we'll see how it turns out. Now we have the coating of Mod Podge. Now you can see the white. As it dries, it's going to dry perfectly clear. See all the white flecks? That'll all be gone once it's dry. You can see over here, for example, where it's bubbling up, right on top of the GMT. Well, that should press itself down. If it doesn't press it as it dries, if it does not go back, then I'm going to have to poke a tiny little hole in it with a guitar string. And inject a little bit of glue in there, and then that should lay flat. But other than that, it's looking really good. So we can start on the second layer, level 1. A little bit more complicated, so you have to be really conscious and not distracted with what you're doing. So what we're doing is we're tracing out, and now this is 1/8 of an inch MDF, and we're tracing out what's left. Everything that's left, whether it be level 1, level 2, level 3, it's all that remains, and we're tracing it out, and that's going to be all the level 1 and the base for the level 2, level 3. So when I trace it out, I leave about 1/8 of an inch gap. And the reason why I leave 1/8 of an inch gap is after it's all cut out, we're going to use a router to create a slope so that it's not just a cliff cut off, but it slopes down, and that is going to be the difference between the base and the top of the hill, that little 1/8 of an inch. So now that we have it like this, we can we can either go straight to cutting this out, or we can go to cutting out the level 2 and the level 3 from here, and then Mod Podging it down, and then we can cut it out. It doesn't really matter which way we do it. And you can see the color is perfect. It dried crystal clear. So I cut 3 sections here. This is all going to be level 1. So you can see there's a little bit of an overlap on top, and that's good. That's good because it will be sloped once I route this out. And then the 2 other pieces, hold on. Right, now this one was 1 piece. I had to cut it into 2 pieces because I couldn't get it through my scroll saw. Oops. That is just 1 piece. So that's gonna fit like, what am I doing here? There we go. Like that. Good. And then the last piece will be here. And there we go. Something like that. Okay, so that is going to be all of our level 1, level 2, and level 3. So, and just to see what it looks like from a cutout, that will be on top of there like so. And this will be roughly on top of here, like that. Okay, so now what I have to do is cut out all my level 2 and level 3 as 1 piece and leave behind the level 1. And then the level 1 is what's going to get glued down to our level 1 plus. Okay, let's see how this looks. Okay, so this is what it's going to look like. This is what it looks like before we glue it down. So everywhere you see that's still brown, you see there's a level up right there. Everywhere you see that's still brown is going to be either level 2 or level 3. So we have down here level 0. And here what we haven't glued down yet is level 1. Then here will be level 2 and level 3 in some cases. So that's what it's going to look like. So you can see it's starting to take shape. And once again, you see that the wood is larger than where I cut it out. Is 1/8 of an inch larger than where I cut it out.
Is this your iPhone charger?
And so I just have to route it out to make it a slope. Okay, so we have all the pieces cut out, and you can see how it's routed out at an angle, so it makes it look kind of like a slope. So cut those out and then sanded them down, and then here's all the pieces to the jigsaw puzzle. Let's put it together and see what it looks like. Before it's glued down or Mod Podged down, so you can see everything's kind of loose here. Yeah. But that'll give you an idea of the 3D of it. So, all right, so it all fits good. So next we glue it down.